We like to get started with a little recap of what's happened since the last time. Now, if you're watching at home, we have been playing this game for, I guess, a couple of months now, give or take. In that time, our party has had the opportunity to get to know their neighbor, as they were, right there at Red Clover Fields. This town in which they've accustomed to, some actually from at one time or another, being Delmont. And in doing so, they've all found their own little niche in town. Perhaps it's a mentor or a project or an animal they're trying to train, whatever it might be. They've got themselves involved in different things, which is great. And I keep on telling them, the game hasn't started yet. I can't wait till the game starts. And they're like, what? We've been playing the game for months. Yes, but I've been trying to get to this point where I had an audience to view it before we actually really started getting to think of it. Now, I don't know how far we're going to get in tonight, but we are going to at least start with finding out what happened last time. Who would like to get us kicked off with that recap this evening while I eat my honey bun?
Fortunately, I missed quite a bit of last week, so...
Yes. I'm going to turn down this audio a little bit. Playing around with the audio mixer tonight. I don't know if you guys at home can hear that or not, but hopefully you guys can. So, Matt, you had a big part in things. Amanda, I think you may or may not have gotten into some stuff, correct?
I believe so.
What all happened?
Well, my character guy was at the water mill. She ended up seeing a whale out in the lake. And knowing whales aren't typically in lakes, she got extremely curious and came out and went to talk to the whale. And the whale wanted to show her something. So it took her across the lake to show her a town that had a big pollution problem, oil spilling into the lake, so on and so forth. And the whale wanted to show her so that she could end up trying to fix it. But then she found out that the whale wasn't actually a whale, but was actually a dragon.
Do you remember what that dragon kind of ushered or urged you to try to do?
Yes, he urged me to expand my circle, get more helpers.
Because the last time you played, a couple of weeks ago, you weren't with us last week, I don't think. I can't remember if you were or not.
No, the week before wasn't.
Okay. Well, what's the last thing you remember with your character?
Actually, no. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. I listened in the last part of it, I want to say. My character went off and was doing training with a fellow Kensei monk.
Which reminds me, forgive me, those may be viewing at home or whatnot. Who are we talking about? Let's go ahead and go around the table, and I want to introduce all of my players. I'd like them to introduce their characters. If I would, to me, I have on my left David. David is a longtime friend of mine and a very experienced gamer, including on various Twitch platforms and other platforms as well in virtual gaming. Is that correct, David?
Not Twitch.
Not
it's
Twitch.
all Discord. So, greetings. I am playing Delmont Summermoth, the local eccentric artificer. in the town of Red Clover Fields, and newly appointed fire marshal.
Yeah. And Curtis, you mentioned your character, yes, Monk, named Kythos, right? Curtis is actually my brother.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your character, Curtis?
Oh, my name's Kythos. I'm a tiefling monk that's studying the way of the Kinsei. I recently came across and acquired another Kinsei
Sure.
monk friend that's also gonna, sparring partner and mentor. And not real sure where I'm exactly from. I know that I'm, I guess lawful good to an extent because I'm trying to, since I am a tiefling, I'm trying to go the route of being not violent and a bad person like most tieflings are put out to be from what I gather in the years of playing and all that. Um, and that's why I went with the monk is because they're more passive and really don't want to do any fighting unless they have to. But that's that's who I am and that's my
And
character.
when you've had to, you've gotten into some dangerous situations. You almost died.
I've almost died several times.
So far, it's almost the hands of a spider, and Curtis almost died at the hands of a giant scorpion. They've been dealing with some nasty vermin. Get into more of that in a moment. Continue on. Roberts actually is a very experienced with Twitch. Actually, he has more experience than me, for sure. This is the second time ever streaming. The first time was just to see if I could. Anyway, Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your character you made?
Absolutely. I am playing a fairy bard named Willow, and she is not from around here. She's from the Feywilds and trying to understand why there is a weakening between the boundaries and whether it is safe for the Fey to continue traveling the material plane. So that's the character herself. I myself, obviously Robert, my is Evan Mark. And yeah, I have been on Twitch for probably 5 years now already. So I'm actually hoping to get into streaming myself once this move gets done. So.
Very nice, Robert. What's the last thing you remember having with your character? Do you remember?
I do actually. So Willow, last session, was putting in her vote on who we should be supporting to be the sheriff. By offering our support that we could get them to do the favor of helping with the spider menace in the forests to the north. And yeah, so we went and talked to the Minotaur and found that is in support of putting some ground rules and laws in place of those who would be using magic. And my character personally made a 180 decision from totally supporting the Minotaur because it would be less likely for him to be nefarious to never mind, I'll take my with the mercenary group over there with Judge. So I will, of course, support whatever the party did. Personally, Willow is no longer confident that she wants the Minotaur to be in a position where he can influence others.
I do remember doing.
You definitely looked into the deal going on with the sheriff, and that's fantastic. There is a lot to chew up there, and the party has kind of seen it through your eyes a bit as you got to explore that the last time. Matt.
Matt is a human warlock.
I want to make sure you were there. Yeah, Matt's one of my best friends, and also coworker. Worked with him for a while, and also been playing with him almost as long as I worked with him. It's almost 2 years. We've been playing for almost 2 years now. Matt. You created a very curious character in a warlock that lost his. Tell us more about that.
So Lucius' earliest memory to date is waking up in a forest with a note in which he left himself, saying, "Don't look into your past, only worry about your future." And has, through process of elimination, essentially figured that he gave up his memories for the powers which he now wields. So what he's been doing now is, instead of trying to track down who he was or what he used to do, is he's trying to create more memories, and with that, he's keeping a small life, if you will, inside his genie vessel, which is his patron, of other people's life experiences as well.
Amanda, you just had a baby, and beautiful baby indeed. You made a character named Gaia, a druid mercenary. Interesting combination. Tell us more.
Yes. She's a druid. She's Circle of the Moon, or will be Circle of the Moon. She's going to be emphasizing mostly turning into animals during fighting, on occasion doing long range with magic. But her kind of goal is to help, essentially, in a nutshell, basically help the the current realm that we're in and nature itself coexist peacefully in a sort of manner. So, like, humans and other races can do what they need to do to live, and prosper, but not interfere or go out of their way to harm nature. Like, there's ways to get things accomplished without causing pollution and just having peace.
Peace, no peace. Sorry. Fun times. So yeah, party's been getting into some things here and there. So we have a couple other members of our party that aren't with us this evening. One of them is a ranger, and she has taken to this giant spider that they actually captured out in the wilderness while they were fighting a bunch of giant spiders to less. And somehow, through time, after having it captured and so forth, they have slowly begun the process of domesticating this giant spider. And to Delmont's inconvenience, was originally in his watermill, the safe haven of our party in our town of Red Clover Fields. And then we have Alistair. Alistair has been learning a little bit about his past. He's a warrior of fortune, a mercenary, to put it lightly. But he's found recently that there is a little bit to his past. He didn't know too much about it. And in Red Clover Fields, he's begun to overturn some of those apparently his ancestors follow the lineage of paladins, and he's been looking into a little bit more of that with this cleric that had discovered this through some um, um, blessing that had given to the party before they set off to deal with these Ettercaps. Now, those Ettercaps have not been resolved yet. It still looms in the distance, and they've put together a plan, quite creative plan. Delmont, tell me more.
Very simple. We're going to burn down the section of the forest that they're in so they go away forever.
Just cut out the cancer.
Yes.
It's an idea. They've also sent a friend. You may have heard his name. They know him by a gunslinger. He has actually assisted the party as well as some of his compatriots in dealing with some of these spiders. And in fact, they asked Judge to go north of where the spider dilemma was to speak to some lumberjacks, in which they actually had a dealing with some giant bear that stole someone's leg or something like that. I can't remember exactly what, but yeah, there was something with that, and so they've sent Judge to see if he can coerce them to assist them. Meanwhile, Delmont has been busy back at home. He asked for the mayor to assist him, and the mayor made him fire marshal, and has given him some resources in order to combat that, being whatever resources he can decide he needs. So Delmont's going to have to assess that and get back to him. It's all the bureaucracy and the paperwork that's really the staple now that you've gotten yourself into being the marshal of the fire. So,
The marshal of the fire.
with no further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. You know what? Now, wait. I apologize. I've been doing a little bit about talking to some people about us doing things here, and one that has brought me back across the path of some friends that I haven't spoken to for a while, and regret because I've been working on a project. Billy, I know you're out there somewhere. One of my best friends I've ever had out in Savannah, Georgia. Love that place. One of the most haunted places, but one of the greatest treasures of America. If you ever get a chance, you got to go. I can't wait to get back there someday and have a drink with my buddy Billy again. You are one of my best friends for life. Also, some of my friends out there at Quaker. I believe Kyle might be out there listening, and maybe Chris, maybe even Chris's son. Chris's son, we actually participated in a one-shot at Amanda's baby shower. I was told by Chris that his son still holds on to that miniature that I had them paint, and that they used in a game right there at Matt and Amanda's D&D themed baby shower, which was wonderful and great to be a part of. And with that, let's get into it. You guys were at the watermill, right? I think.
I had gone to have a conversation with Lucius at the tavern.
Yes, where we left off.
You had spoken with Lucius about a great many things over some drinks. What? And let's get back into that. What are you guys talking about?
Generally, it was Lucius, from Delmont's point of view at least. Lucius was trying to find a way to run away from a potential.
Yes.
How so?
Well, because of Delmont's personal beliefs regarding magic and personal accountability thereof, and supporting the Minotaur, because the Minotaur also believes in being held accountable for magical actions. since Delmont himself has no magic. Everything is technological. They have a bit of a chip on their shoulder regarding the superiority that some magic users seem to have.
So what Lucius is worried about is the laws preventing him from doing what needs to be done for like a good scenario that kind of like doing good that might not meet the criteria of their new laws, but it's something that's good and needs to be done kind of thing. And he wants the freedom to be able to do that. Because he's willing to break every law of the freaking kingdom when it comes to his friends.
So yeah, apparently there's something coming down the chain about law and whatnot that have to deal with magic. That's what these guys are on about.
Yes, if the Minotaur gets elected in, then he's going to make it where people have a limit on magic use. Which there's people that, party members, that don't really feel that that's a good idea. Because their whole thing is magic.
So that's where we are. So, to continue the conversation that we were having last session.
I think we finished it. I think you agreed that you weren't going to help me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I was going to try to find another way.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Allergies and whatnot. I was out cutting lawn and I get bad hay fever. Anyway, so yeah, laws and stuff. So I believe after the drinks, you may have made your way back to the watermill, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Upon getting there, you notice that there's a note on the door.
Wonderful. Now who's causing me? Now who's coming it to make my life more complicated? So I'll take a look at the note.
And I will take a look at my notes.
And remember, you do have a freshly tilled garden.
Ah, yes.
I'm
Garden.
well aware.
What garden are we talking about?
Garden at
You're welcome.
Delmont's house. Delmont's garden.
Yeah, because everybody is making modifications and adjustments to my house without talking to me.
At
You
least,
can maybe sell some.
at least Lucius keeps to his ring and hasn't modified your house.
Okay, so you guys see the note on the door. It has a intricate drawing of what looks like some fire, like a ring of fire, and like a a large cat jumping through some fire, and then you see what looks like people on doing acrobatics and whatnot. You see in bold letters across the top, circus.
Really? They defaced my door for a circus. This town really has gone to hell.
So, what is our passive perceptions?
Lucius has a 14.
14, and you, Delmont?
Delmont is a 16.
I want to
16.
say mine. I want to say mine.
Delmont, as you look at the paper, you look up and you see what looks like a small child making their way away from the door. They're holding what looks like some flyers, and you see them over on approaching the other water mill that just a little bit of ways up, and they're headed over to that door with what looks like a hammer and a tack.
That's their problem.
Very good. So you look at the guy handing out the flyers, and you got the flyer in your hand. Circus. You put it in your pocket, or you throw it away. You throw it in the garbage. What are you doing?
I could use the paper to light my forge if I need to.
Fair enough. Okay, so you make your way inside the watermill. It's pretty quiet right now. You do see a light haze of smoke coming from the upstairs area. You can only assume that it is, in fact, Gaia up there making herself at home. Gaia's our resident pothead.
Yeah.
That's what the garden's for, by the way.
Don't worry, Delmont. We can sell some of it and make some side coin. A steady income, positives, silver lining.
Watermill, blacksmith, drug house.
Drug house.
Well,
You got a
narcotics?
example.
Narcotics and heavy machinery are just a wonderful combination.
You're not the heroes this world wanted, but you're the heroes this world got.
We may not be the best, but at least we're here.
At third level, we're barely local heroes.
Right? So, you guys want to do anything else this evening, or are you guys turning in?
As long as they don't burn my house down, so yeah, I'll go upstairs, see who all's home, because hey, mi casa es su casa, apparently.
Do you mind if I add a little bit of if I get some sketches of your TikTok to add to my library?
TikTok is his robot.
Steel Defender.
Steel Defender.
Sure, if you want to add sketches of him, that's perfectly fine.
Kind of like how I brought out a couple sketches of Firearm I came across a while back to help you out. Just the more information, the more handy. Who knows when it'll come useful.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So, since I'm guessing everyone else, we have Kythos, Gaia, and Willow. Probably, I'm guessing they're upstairs in the living compartment of my my workshop.
I would assume so. Probably everyone would be there except for Alistair and I want to keep on calling him Aaliyah, but Alien.
Alien.
Hardest thing for a DM is learning these names that these characters. It's fun.
Just think alien.
Yeah. I keep on thinking Alicia or Aaliyah, and some reason Alia.
So
But I always know Aaliyah's not right. I know that one.
So coming up the stairs, seeing everybody, just gonna toss the flyer on the table and grab myself some water and just go to my room and not say another word until morning.
Fair enough.
Okay. Willow is not familiar with what a circus is. So I think I'm going to try and inquire of the others.
Yeah, so Willow, you're up in the rafters as you normally are. You're enjoying the fact that you have a mellow, cushy little cloud of fairy weed smoke going on up there. And you look down, you see Delmont come in, and he looks a little worn down, staggering a little bit, coming back from the tavern, and he has this crinkled up piece of paper. He throws it down on the table, and he stumbles his way back to his room, and makes his way to bed. You hear the door close, and you swoop down from the rafters and land upon the table, this little fairy. And you look at the crinkled up piece of paper, and you see, these wonderful, intricate designs of art with these animals and these people all together, working together, entertaining each other. And you're like, this is great. You're looking at the text, and you're like, circus. You can read it, you can read the word because you're familiar with comic, but you're not certain what that means.
Right. I'm looking at what looks to be a depiction of something that would be common at home in the Feywilds, where you've got animals and other beings all, using their talents and living in harmony. And yet, this is a new concept to me. So, of course, I want to find out what this circus is.
So you are inquiring on this piece of paper when you hear you realize Gaia's right there on the couch. You didn't even notice she was there before, and she's just kind of sunken into the couch.
Okay. Yeah. So, being the first individual that I spot, poor Gaia, you're going to have to put your pipe down for a moment. Where is the circus, and what is their relations?
You said what is a circus?
Where is the circus, and what is their relation?
I don't know where it is. I'm not sure where it is.
Guy, make me an intelligence check at disadvantage. This isn't because you're high. This is because you ain't from around here either.
I got a nat 1 for 3.
You're like, isn't that some type of horse?
Okay. I'm going to wander off and try to find somebody else to talk to.
I'm going to blame it on being super stoned.
So as you start meandering about, you do hear the subtle steps downstairs. You know that Delmont is way to bed, and there you see a shadow in different forms as Kythos is going through different forms of meditation and different forms of his martial arts. You think it's very silly as he does these little dances with his swords and his knives. But there he is.
Yeah.
And you wonder if he knows what a circus is.
Hey, Kythos, I don't hear any music. Why are you dancing?
Oh, I'm doing what's called a kata. It's a form of meditation and also training in martial arts. It helps keep my muscles in peak form.
Okay. So
I don't need.
Delmont brought in this lovely poster. I'm trying to figure out, is this circus a safe haven for Faye, or where is it, and how does it relate?
I'm not sure if I know what a circus really is, but I hear, from what I've heard, they have shows with, um, I guess, let's say, interesting looking people and folks, but they also have entertainment as well. So,
So it's a trope of bards.
mm, more or less, yes. I guess you could consider that.
Then we must go and introduce ourselves.
Mm,
That'll be a disaster.
I don't know if we're introducing ourselves yet.
But if they're advertising, then they must be welcoming us.
Does Lucius hear what's going on?
Yes. Are you headed to bed as well? Are you whatever, or what are you doing? Matt, you come in following the shirt tails of Delmont stumbling in.
I asked Delmont for permission, and I'm adding some sketches and information about TikTok to my library.
Okay, so you're down in his workshop, curiously going over his blueprints of what he used in order to actually create this creature, and you're kind of taking note of him and taking sketches of him. And so yeah, you see Kythos and Willow over there having their conversation, and you might even overhear them. Yes.
Would Lucius be familiar with the concept of a circus?
Well, that's interesting because you did lose your memory. I'm going to have you ask you to do the same as I asked Gaia.
Well,
We'll just roll an intelligence. I'll tell you what. Let's just roll an intelligence. Let's see what happens. Technically, Kaia's from the Fae, so she had just as much luck knowing what a circus was as Willow. But you are kind of, even though you might have lost your memory, I mean, you know what a spoon is, and you know what a plate is, so you might know what a circus is. Let's see. Roll an intelligence.
I got a 5.
Yeah, it's as I thought. No clue. Once again, you think it's some sort of you confuse it with circumcision.
I think keep out of that conversation.
You're like, you're gonna do what? Talking about a what?
I was like 90% sure Willow was a girl until like 10 seconds ago.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to insist that we find this circus, this land of circus, and see if we can't introduce ourselves to these other Fae as potential allies as we prepare to smoke out the Ettercats.
I think we have a little bit of too many loose ends to be opening up another loose end.
There's never too many loose ends in a D&D game.
Why? I mean, look at me in Baldur's Gate. I just go and open up different quests and take them just as far as like just about to completion to see what's going to happen, and then I'll go over here and do this quest just up to my conclusion and be like, I think I want to do this one because it might whatever. But there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
How many open quest signs do you have in Fallout or Skyrim? That's all I'm going to ask.
I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea. I don't complete quests. I accept quests.
I'm a quest acceptor, not a completer. Sure, I'll find your dog for you sometime between today and a couple years from now.
When I'm in that general area, I'll have a look around. But I'm not making my way all the way over to freaking Cyrodiil just to look for your dog.
So I think before, I'm gonna say I finished with the sketches by now. Some quick little ones. I'm gonna say
I like you
before
to
we
do
look in, huh?
I like you to do me a favor.
Yeah, what's up?
I'd like to know how well designed your sketches are. I'll let you make a performance check. I know you're very charismatic. Secondly, you're performing make a performance. Make a performance.
Yeah, it's an 8. It was like the one charisma thing I'm not proficient at. Wait a minute. Hold on. I rolled on the wrong character sheet. I accidentally rolled on Gaius.
Yeah, Gaia's not charismatic. She's
I got an 11.
why? 11. Not bad. Okay, so your sketches look decent. Not very intricate. They might lack some of the finer details. But you get the basic gist of what it is. You have a basic outline.
That was the idea. I'm not out to, store away all of Delmont's secrets. Just taking note of the creation of something I find interesting.
Right. You created a basic.
Does Willow notice? Does Willow notice the copying of the TikTok images?
What is your passive?
17.
Yes. You notice that he is working at something. He looks up just for a moment as you guys are talking about a circus, and he looks bewildered just for a moment and kind of like shakes off like a weird thought, and then just goes back to his work.
Willow is actually going to wait until nobody else is messing with it, and maybe actually do a charcoal trace using one of my pedals a little bit later on tonight.
I'm sorry. Can I ask you to repeat that one more time?
Sure. Willow has a group of flower petals that she uses to communicate with the Feywild. And seeing that somebody else has had permission to look at the schematics for TikTok, she is going to attempt to use a charcoal piece and basically lay the petal over top of and try to draw out exactly what was on the paper underneath.
Okay, so you are noticed that Lucius was over there working diligently at something, and you see him kind of tidy up a little bit, wanting to make sure that he doesn't leave Delmont's workspace messy, because Delmont not happy when he come down in his workspace messy. And he tidies up a little bit, and he's admiring his whatever he's done, and you got to fly over to where he had left and kind of on the workspace, and you kind of pull out the schematics as well that he was looking at. Is that where you're inquiring about?
Yes.
Right? Okay. And you lay them out before you on the table. You're taking a look at them. Now, what would you like to do from here?
Like I said, my intent is to come back when nobody is watching and place one of my pedals directly over it and try as best I can to get a perfect trace of TikTok schematics. Kind of like if you take a piece of paper and you rub the graphite over it, on a headstone or something like that, you get an impression of what's behind the paper.
Okay.
He was wanting to take a rubbing of the schematics where you put it
right. Okay. So, you okay.
I have a very personal interest, actually, in trying to understand Delmont's attachment to technology and advancement, as he put it. And that some pollution is required to make that advancement and should not be entirely hindered. So, seeing that that's what is on these papers and the fact that someone had permission to be messing with them, I intend to take a closer look at them.
Okay. Yeah. So you're using a pedal. Is that
Right.
Is that
So
right?
I have those pedals that I transcribe messages on that the rest of
Right.
the party is unaware of, which is why I'm not doing it directly in front of anybody right now, but waiting for people to go to sleep, and then I'll come over and try as best I can to get an exact copy of the schematics. So.
Okay. All right. So yeah, was there anything else you even wanted to do this evening before retiring? Kaitos, you finished with your exercise, and Demon, you've
Is
already
there anything?
gone to bed. And
Right. Is there anything on that paper for the circus that says when or where it was going to be?
Why don't you roll me an investigation check?
Okay. I got a 19.
Okay, fair enough. So you look at the flyer again, and we're looking down at it and trying to figure out. It looks like it's not long from now. You, according to what day you believe it is, roll me intelligence, just because. I'm not sure exactly how you judge time. I know the calendar year here.
3.
You see a date, but you're not familiar with anything to reference it to.
Okay. So that would have been perplexing to Willow, I think, in the first place, because I'm thinking this is like another dimension or another something, with other fey creatures that I can rely on based on what was in the depictions.
So it does say, circus and grand opening, and it says 7th of Austin, autumn. Sorry, 7th of autumn. But you're not sure, if that's a month or is in you're not really sure what that means.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just really excited at the prospect of more allies making themselves known to us at this point in time. So
I imagine you kind of running around the place kind of like SpongeBob right now. Like, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. 7th of autumn, here I come. 7th of autumn, here I come.
Yeah, like I said, definitely giddy, not understanding at all. From the description I got, we've got a trope of bards, which I can relate to directly. We've got fae because of all of the beast folk that are performing stunts, and the fact that none of the other individuals in the depictions appear to be doing mundane activities. It sounds exactly like I said, like home, just from what I can see on the depictions.
You guys are finally begin to settle down for the evening, all of you. You find quiet solace in the rafters, as you normally do, Willow. Kaitos, you find a place to lay yourself down. You don't need a bed. You just kind of like laying on the floor. And Delmont, you comfy in your room, and Gaia there on the couch. I'm guessing there is a couple of rooms here, so maybe you're in another one there, Lucius. You might have your own room. And you hear the door open, or at least you hear it shut suddenly. A thunk, and you hear the door slam shut, and some of you are awakened suddenly, and you hear rushing up the steps. And you're hearing someone calling out, "Come! I need to talk to you all. There's something important." You recognize it as Alistair's voice.
I get up and run after him and ask him what's going on.
Okay. So you're right there in the room itself, and so he runs up the couch. You're laying on the couch, and he runs up. He's all, "Hey, blah blah blah," and yells out, and you're like, "What?" He says, "I think I'm a king."
Did you get into my smoke stash?
No, you don't understand. This my grandfather. He was like king. I swear he was king of this place. It called Aquilonia. Have you ever heard of it?
Possibly here and there, but I'm not familiar with it.
So while all of this chaos is going on in the main room, I am taking my time to get dressed because I have bits that I need to hide.
Okay, right. Delmont has a very particular thing. Delmont, do you want to talk more about that?
No.
I have to go use the little boy's room real quick. Pardon me. Been reading the stuff, but Delmont, please continue.
Yeah, so while I'm hearing this, and I hear Aquilonia and King, can I make a history check or anything?
Yes, you can. Please do so.
That's a 9.
You do remember something about a place called Aquilonia, but it seems like it's familiar to you, but you're not really sure where you heard
This is
it.
what happens when I get woken up abruptly in the middle of the night.
Right. It is familiar to you, but not ringing any bells. I swear. I was reading this thing. They said he was king, or at least he was supposed to be. But he walked away. But he could be king. Does that make me king of Aquilonia or something? I can't ask the preacher. She left 3 days ago, and I just been up in the lighthouse, just kind of reading these books.
It is too early to be this hyper.
Wait. There's so much you don't know. I mean, there's so much. Not far from here, there's a grove, and there's supposed to be a protector. It's wild. It's really crazy to read these books. It's crazy.
Okay. Turn
Do
it
you
down
need a
couple
hit,
notches.
Alistair? Do you
Okay.
need a hit?
Okay, fine. I apologize. That is a little bit rash of me. I'll come back to them. I swear to God.
Okay, we'll talk about this when we're all awake.
Right. Sorry. Not very noble of me, was it? And he makes his way out, and you hear the door close and creak slowly and quietly as he latches the door.
So I'm just gonna go down to the stairs like TikTok, sit in front of the door.
He activates and just sits down in front of the door.
Okay.
With that, I need to take a brief intermission. Okay. Let's go ahead and take 10. Well, let's call it 15 minutes, and we'll come back here. Okay. All right. So, for those of you at home, that means this is an opportunity for you to go ahead and use a little boy or a little girl's room yourself, and maybe get yourself a snack. And hopefully, back here in a moment.
Patrick,
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're aware of Gaia's backstory that she has for Nightfall,
Uh-huh.
but apparently she has a history with circus.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until you mentioned a circus, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
So, we'll get to that. So you're just like, oh, be like, wait a second, circus? Let's be part of a circus. Yeah, that's fine. Wake up in the morning.
I think it's a very negative thing.
Oh, what?
A very negative thing.
Experience?
Yeah.
That's okay. Willow is all excited because the portal to circus opens on the 7th of autumn, and if that's tomorrow, then that we still have enough time to recruit them to help us with these Ettercats.
Right.
Because otherwise, I think it's time to literally call in the reinforcements and actually go start a fire.
Right.
Because it has been the 2 or 3 days that Shyla asked for to evacuate the woodland creatures.
Indeed. Morning comes, all that good stuff. You guys wake. Gaia, when you wake up, you're like, somebody say something about a circus? You're like, I used to be part of a circus.
What's your background in the circus?
All I knew from the circus is abuse.
You were part of.
I was part of.
So let's explore a little bit of that real quick, okay? So it's part of your backstory. You were part of a circus. What all do you know about being part of a circus?
Basically, I was. In fact, they could abuse if they were upset, or I would have to go and do menial tasks around the circus. And I was not fed very well, and I was in a lot of abuse. And I got to see a lot of animals be abused by the ones running the circus.
So your tragic character story starts with a circus?
So you weren't part of the act,
Very much.
or just like the help.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so when you think of a circus, you think of
Set fire to my druid camp when I was younger.
well, that's just
It showed me
fantastic.
away. Yes.
I mean, I can't write that kind of stuff. Here, I bring a circus that's ran to town. That's like your number one. That's
Like,
great.
PTSD for poor Gaia.
Right. She sees circus as somebody she's like from Kill Bill.
now you understand why she's a stoner. She's got problems.
Trying to smoke to forget.
I am never going to get that smell out of the couch.
And on this episode of Nightfall, has trauma.
Guy has trauma. All right, so
Yeah,
But
when Gaia
you
wakes
wake
up
up
and asks if someone said something about circus, I'm going to immediately lie down all excited, say, yes, right here, circus. And hold up this flyer that's probably about as big as I am.
yeah, little, yeah, about the same size, I guess, give or take. Tinkerbell. So, Guy, Willow flies down and lands on the table in front of you. It's like, yeah, circus, circus. You know about it. Wait, no. I don't know much about it, but apparently it's coming here. And it's going to be on autumn the 7th. Autumn the 7th. I don't know when autumn the 7th is, but it's coming on the 7th.
circuses are a terrible place.
Willow, did you hear?
I'm gonna be really confused actually with that because the image looks like home, and it shows everybody, just doing normal-ish looking stuff in harmony with each other. So
That's the facade they play during their acts. You don't see behind the curtains.
so it is a
We are gonna have
While you come out and you see them talking, and this is the rare moment that Gaia is like sober.
Not only sober, but serious.
Right.
Okay. What's going on? It's early. What?
You brought this the paper in that shows that we have some potential allies with some more Fae.
Oh, the circus thing?
Yeah.
Oh no, God. Oh, that's right. You're not from around here. Okay.
I must insist we go.
But we now have to be working on this fire thing today because it's literally been the length of time that we promised to give Shayla to prepare for it from her aspect, and we already sent Judge to the north to prepare the lumberjacks and stuff. So if the 7th of us is or autumn is too far out, we need to just go rally whatever people we can here in town and go.
He says the 7th of autumn, and you're like 7th of autumn. That's not a thing.
Okay. I mean, you see that? I was exhausted last night.
So the note refers to a certain point in the changing of the season, and the 7th day into autumn, which would make it 2 days from now.
Okay. Circus is 2 days from now. What? Okay. Why are we going?
Well, if the portal opens in 2 days, it'll take too long. We need to deal with these other cats before they can cause any more harm.
There's no portal.
I need to see who runs the circus.
Okay. Is there coffee?
Be arranged.
Please, before we do anything, I need to jumpstart my brain.
Lucius will do coffee while you explain the circus.
Okay. Circus. Exploitation of people and animals for profit.
So they enslave the Fae?
There's
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Typically, there's no Fae. Oftentimes, more times than not, the people are there of their own free will, but they're generally, unless they're like the big draw maker, most people are there treated horribly, and they have nowhere else to go because they can't afford to go anywhere else. The animals, depending on the circus, are horribly treated behind the scenes. All for the sake of entertainment. People suck.
people do suck.
Bars are supposed to make people happy.
Oh, they do. They make the crowds happy. The crowds will be happy, but the people who are working, they're not happy.
How is this allowed?
Well, it's generally allowed as it makes money.
Remember, it made no difference to Willow that there were slaves and things because this is just the reality that was presented to me. But now I've been here long enough to see how people interact with each other. And
Shows these are
potential
just big
allies
ones.
can be made. And
Well, unfortunately, the reason that it can go on is the people who work there, and they're not. They're the people who run the place aren't really violating any laws, and rights. Get away with it.
not evil.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. Sometimes you'll have some good ones, but more often are exploitative, money-hungry, exploitative organization.
Okay. Let's table the circus. We've got to leave the town. We've got to go.
We have a forest to burn.
Lucius with coffee, and just in case I mucked it up, I'm gonna use prestidigitation in the kitchen and make sure it tastes right and is at a drinkable temperature.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna get some ice.
So the coffee tastes good and it's at the perfect
I
temperature.
need to go for this chair. I just bought it today. Sorry.
Time for wake and bake. Anybody else need a hit?
No, I need to keep my senses sharp.
Kythos will
It helps you relax so you don't have to stress.
Will
And
has
then I
learned
can't
to enjoy the second hand effects of your relaxing.
And
being up in the rafters
problem
all the time.
is, if I get too relaxed, I get sloppy. I get careless. If I get sloppy and careless, I could lose a hand.
Couldn't you just make another one?
Do you know how difficult that is? How difficult it is to make only one hand?
That's fair, I suppose.
Where's my Nyx?
Oh no. Oh no.
Nix pops out from between Delmont's legs.
Oh god, you had to say the N-word.
Like, I've been here the whole time.
I just got rid of the spider.
Careful, the next thing guy black is cat.
Sorry about that.
Willow had to ask, "Where's my Nyx?"
This isn't there right now.
But Nyx is how Willow was going to like let everybody else know it's time.
What
Because
twist?
Nyx was somehow able to talk to Shayla from, and get help whenever we needed it the first time.
A kobold in this town would probably not be a good idea.
I got a question. Are you actively searching for Nyx?
Yeah, I literally when I realized that today's the day we have to go rally everybody and get the fire going, and as soon as possible and all that stuff. I realized I'm looking around. These are all of the allies that I started with, but these are not all the people we're relying on, and we need Nyx to let the other people know in other locations.
Okay.
It's time to go.
So you leave the watermill and you start looking around the town. Roll me investigation.
11.
11. Now you're trying to think the last time you remember Nyx anything. You do remember something about Lucius and Hunt. They mentioned something about the bar and that Nyx may or may not have been invisible there, and then they told Shu or whatever, and they went to go drink, and that was the last time they saw him.
Okay.
That's time I saw him.
Give me one moment then.
Oh, by the way, I encourage my players to, role play a bit.
Okay.
Get
I'm
into,
obviously going to go straight for but the reason I waited a moment. Oh, I'm sorry.
go and don't feel bad, reluctant about getting into character and just doing what your character felt you would do inside and outside of combat. And these guys have been in home for a few days, and I can't stop them from role playing, and I'm loving it. So, please.
Okay. I'm going to step into the bar, and I'm going to kind of like whisper, a few different times, calling out for my Nyx.
Okay. All right. So you make your way into the bar. That's probably your logical conclusion is like maybe he went to the bar. Your investigation doesn't really turn up much. You look around town, you don't see him anywhere, but you do remember that one little tidbit. Make your way over to the bar. And as you go in, Eliza is once again recanting a tale of some grand adventure about some grand hero doing some triumphant deed and saving the day and getting the reward. And as you enter, she, looks up and she's like, "Oh, and I'll tell you more about her Humperdinck later." Willow, it's been a little while since I saw you last. How have you been?
Confused mostly. You haven't seen any of my companions in here recently, have you?
Yes, actually, last night, a couple of them were actually in here. The long bearded one and the very feminine guy.
Okay. Could you point to me where they were at?
Like what table they were sitting at?
Yeah.
They were sitting at the table in the tavern right over there.
Okay. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire. I'm using my ability so that it's not using a spell slot.
Okay. Explain to me exactly what you're attempting to do.
I'm trying to see if I can find Nyx. Like, just to be able to pop up out of nowhere. So I'm thinking he might be invisible and fell asleep, at the table or something silly like that. I don't
Okay.
understand how Nyx works yet. So
That's interesting because you're looking for Nyx, and suddenly the entire tavern inn stands up and they're like, "Woo! That is great! Do another trick." They see your fairy fire come out, and it's just lighting up all up of other people that are all in the area. It's like 6 or 7 different people, and they're like seeing it above their heads, and they're like lit up and whatnot. And they stand up, and they can't seem to get away from it. They're kind of dancing wherever, but no Nyx. What
okay.
color is it, by the way?
We're gonna go with purple.
So you see this
Violet,
purple.
I guess. But
Yeah, they're all like glowing in purple. You see like 4 or 5 of them. They're all glowing in purple suddenly. They witness you casting the spell, and they know it's harmless, as they're hurt from it or like that. But they think it's like they know you're a bard. They know you've been in here performing before. They believe it's some part of some act, and they're waiting for you to continue. They're all looking at you, see what you're gonna do next.
well, I don't have any sign of Nyx. So, but I know that Delmont and Lucius had something to do with where Nyx was at last. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, last thing you knew, he was heading, he was running around town invisible.
Right, which is why I used fairy fire in the middle of the hoping that
Yeah.
it would light them up. Um,
So why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception?
okay. Ouch. Not.
So
I
you
have
see these.
I have expertise on that. So,
What was the total?
well, I only rolled a 2, and I've got the +7. So yeah, it's still just 9, but it's like holy.
You guys have been cursed by really low rolls all night. But sometimes that happens. It's better to get the low rolls out in non-combat situations than in combat. So you're looking around. You do see that there are those members of the town that have been lit up with the fire and or the light, and some of them are playing around. And one of them, some of the people are like, throwing things at the people that are lit up with the fire, and whatever. But no sign of Nyx. Just roughhousing going about.
Okay. Well, then to keep them entertained on my way back out the door, I'm going to use performance of creation to animate. Let's say the fork and the spoon and the plate sitting there, one of the tools, and have them do a fairy tale while I'm, running out the door.
Okay. So
And it'll stay animated for 2 hours.
So they knew that you were about to do something because you did the whole spell to get their attention, and they were like, okay, we don't know what he's going to do, but they were getting a little patient. They were kind of roughhousing with the guys that were on lit up because they'd have nothing better to do. I should just look. And then they see these animated plates start to get up and start to dance on the table, and everyone just starts to go and roll me performance.
18.
Cheer and clap as your plates begin to enter ways they never thought possible from plateware. In fact, no one ever thought possible. And you end up leaving the tavern with them joyfully entertained for
Yeah.
flowers.
It's going to last 2 hours. So
from what might be something like, and what was the name with Mickey Mouse and the
Yep.
dancing? What was the name?
Apprentice?
What's that?
Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Sorcerer's Apprentice. That's right.
I was thinking more along the lines of the dancing Pepsi can from Golden Child.
Or even another thing that comes to mind is if you remember Sleeping Beauty. The fairies, they were but that's a little bit different. Or Merlin from Sword in the Stone, when wanting to get all the tasks done, really to go study. Yeah, a lot of things come to mind. Very fun.
Yep.
But alas, you do leave.
Okay, so I
And-
realized that I may have been a little rash leaving without first checking. Obviously, Delmont was the last to see them, and Delmont seems to know everything. So, straight back to the.
As you begin to give up and leave the tavern, you hear, "Nick's no drunk."
My Nix! We need
You
you.
turn
It's
around.
time.
You turn around, you see one of the maidens, and she's fighting with a bottle. That you don't see anything else. She's bewildered. She has no idea what's going on. Some invisible force is pulling this bottle from her grasp, and she finally lets go. And then, as the bottle turns upside down, you see this kobold named Nyx, and he's definitely drunk. He's definitely drunk. As he's pouring the bottle up on head or upside down, and just emptying it completely up under her, completely emptying it into his mouth, and tossing the bottle on the ground as he slumps over and falls. And you hear him, "Nick's no drunk."
I'm gonna go pick up Nix and try out of the bar then with Nix back to the mill with everybody else, because we need somebody to snap Nix out of it so that we can get the show on the road, because all of a sudden I am full of purpose. Like I said, today is the day. Our 2 to 3 days is up, and it's time to get the show on the road. We have some Ettercats to deal with today.
Indeed. So you gather Nix up and begin to make him your way back to the watermill. They're still lively entertained with the cutlery as your bar maiden goes to clean up the mess that Nix had made, and the innkeeper, or Eliza, shakes her head, but grins at you as you make your way out. Always an entertaining visit. And you make your way out with Nix drunk after this kobold finally discovered alcohol first time.
Oh, Lord.
So you make your way back to the watermill with a inebriated kobold.
Yep, at least sleeping more so than awake.
Could be the best kind of kobold.
Could be.
An unconscious kobold is the best kobold.
For those at home, Willow likes to play music. The triumphant heroes make their way off to endeavor in their quests. And upon doing so, had attracted the attention of some kobolds that were entertained with the music. First, they were attacked and ran off into the woods, but later they discovered that one took a particular liking to Noisy Bug, as they call it, is Willow. And he's kind of been so
don't forget that technically Nyx considers Willow to be his, and Willow is going the opposite direction and considers Nyx to be more like her pet.
you both have control issues.
Yes.
And so you make your way back to the watermill with Nixon. Yeah, Nyx dragging behind you.
I'm going to inquire about that coffee that's supposed to help people wake up and try to figure out how to get it administered to Nyx. Because we get it, and I'm like on that at the moment.
Okay, so you Nyx in the house and you take him over to get administer your breakfast goodness, and it takes a few minutes, but you get him to wake up. He seems halfway alert, at least, as you begin to tell him about the need for his assistance. What do you tell him?
We need you to talk to your friend, the bear, and we need you to talk to our friend, the gunslinger judge, and we need you to talk to the Minotaur and anybody else that we had managed to rally as allies. So had the sending spell or something that allowed it. I don't fully understand, obviously, as a bard myself, what Nyx can or can't do, but realize that Nyx has a way to at least communicate over distance.
Indeed. So he's like, communicate. Okay. Say what?
Checking in. Are we ready? Needs to be today or tomorrow.
Start trees.
Okay. Check in day of tomorrow. He said, day of tomorrow. What we do?
We are smoking out some Ettercats.
Yeah. Send the message, start cutting trees.
Big bad bugs. Big bad bugs need go bye-bye.
Yes.
Go tell big bad bugs go bye-bye. I go tell friends. And Nyx, he pops up and he shakes off what seems like, a bad smell or whatever, and begins to make his way. No time to talk. Nyx go tell bad guy stuff. And he goes.
Okay. Delmont, you're fire marshal.
Before we do that, you do realize that you just sent a heavily inebriated but alert kobold off on their own, unsupervised.
My Nyx is amazing so far, which could go on.
That question keeps me up at night at times. And considering Nyx at the current situation, those 4 words will probably keep me awake for the next year. Because the answer is a lot.
Should be fine.
Okay.
I realize I'm jumping the gun. Our group hasn't actually acquired the cooperation of the townspeople or anybody else by confirmation yet.
4.
We just sent everybody out and assumed that we have it. But,
I got 4 I got 4 people already, plus the Minotaur, plus TikTok, plus us.
So, forgive me, guys. Kythos, everybody. Okay, so there is a little bit going on this morning. Bit of a ruckus with Nix and so forth, and him storming off and whatever, and the smell of coffee and the sound of conversation wakes you. Same with you, Lucius, and of course you're probably smoking again by now, if Gaia's still with us.
A little bit.
Okay. But you guys are aware of Willow and Delmont talking about this endeavor with the Ettercaps and what to do about it exactly. Go about it. What would you guys like to? You guys like to get in the conversation a little bit?
I'm going along with.
Okay.
Yeah, this idea was one that Lucius actually voted against. So I was here to support however I can.
Okay.
All right. So, let's see. One, 2, 3. I need to crank out about 8 axes.
Okay. So something I don't know that you weren't here with us last week, were you, Delmont?
Not until the very end.
Until the very end. Right, so one of the things I had laid out was during that time you were actually working with those volunteers.
Okay.
Acclimated and so forth. So we'll say that they are aware that it's the day and that they have prepared themselves. And so you are looking forward to meeting up with them. But yes, you are preparing yourself with some equipment. And we'll say that you've been working on this stuff for the last couple of days.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't need anything like... I just need like woodsman axes. I don't need battle axes.
Right. You have plenty of material and you have plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the items required for the endeavor, and you have gone out of your way. Go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Okay.
It's going to be 4 plus
6.
That's going to be 10 axes that you have ready to go at this moment in time.
Okay, that is more than enough. Because that way I can give one to Kythos, I can give one to Gaia, I can give one to Lucius.
Do I need one?
Hey, Lucius, we're not climbing trees today. We're cutting them down.
So you guys start gathering yourselves together, your equipment. You know that today is the day you guys are headed out to deal with the fight in the forest with these ettercaps and vermin. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before we head out?
I can't think of any.
I mean, the only other thing that I could think of, and it's not even practical, would have been to try to build a giant water pump. But that would mean multi-1,000-gallon water tank, which I don't have the materials for.
Okay.
Because I know, like running a hose like several miles to the ocean, to the coast, into the woods is not practical either.
That's quite the feat of engineering, in fact.
I can do that.
Right. But it would be something to mull over how to do such a thing. But you're just going to have to rely on your engineering as far as creating proper fire breaks and whatnot, and trying to control the fire that way, and hope that you're able to contain it. Mostly hope that you're able to contain the vermin that don't want to get burned by the fire and whatever else may be.
I can do. I don't think I'm very good as far as felling trees, but what I can do is I can make trenches and whatnot.
Well, that's something.
That will work. That will definitely.
Yeah, that's quite the fire break.
I just so happen to get the ability to.
Well, that's nice. So, with no further ado, we are headed once again. Curtis, you have roll 20 over there.
Yeah.
You could actually pull up that roll 20 and they'll see what bridge I'm talking about. This is this elven bridge that leads from the town off into the wilderness, and from beyond that horses, all sorts of goodness, all sorts of adventure. Have
Well, as is her custom, as we reach the bridge, I'm going to pull out my bird pipes and start a jaunty tune to, lead us
would
on
you
our
go
way.
ahead and roll me, please, a performance check, please, and thank you.
27.
27.
Yes.
Okay. You play a jaunty tune, all right. Jaunty tune for the ages as you march across. So you guys make your way up north across the bridge and playing your flute, is it?
It's bird pipes, and I can imagine this is just one of those really emboldening tunes at this point, something that makes you feel like nothing in the world can go wrong, and where we need to be going and what we're doing, just something to put us in the right mindset.
Perfect song before things turn to shit.
Exactly.
So, with that note, I would like you guys to go ahead and roll me a D8 and a D12.
All of us?
One D8 and one D12. You know the drill. This is my custom random encounter table.
7.
You guys have it. 7 on a D8.
Roll
3 on a D12, making a total of 10.
oh. I guess I could.
She rolled the instant.
You know what? Never mind. It's what you rolled. That's what we're doing. Okay. All right. So you guys are making your way across the bridge. And you make your way into the forest. You, of course, are still along the path as you make your way through what they call the red clover fields, as you do see red clovers on both sides of the road as you make your way deeper and deeper into the wilderness. You begin to enter the thick of the forest. The sun is still high in the sky, around noon. There are past perception checks.
Willow has 17.
Yes, I remember that. 17.
17 as well for Gaia, and a 14 for Lucius.
13.
14.
Kythos is 15.
15.
Delmont is 16.
So, most of you, but we'll just go ahead and say all of you, pretty close. Hear what sounds like laughter. Children's laughter coming from the forest.
Oh no.
You turn to look, and you don't see anything. You see but the thick of the forest, deep and dark, but still a few leaves do fall as autumn is on its way. As the leaves have begun to turn, some of them turning brown and shades of orange. The wind blows, and of course it blows through the leaves, rustling ever so. And you hear what sounds like a cackle. Not really sure if you heard it or all.
Willow is going to point out that it's probably just a playful sprite and try to urge everybody to get to our stations in time.
I hate to burst your bubble. Our bear friend is supposed to clear the area of all of your guys' buddies, so there shouldn't be a full sprite here.
That's a good point. Shouldn't be anything here, should there?
No, that is a good point. I'm going to continue playing the music, but only so that I can cast something without being obvious that I'm doing so.
Okay, what are you casting?
Yep, one moment. I'm going to cast Detect Magic. But I'm going to do it on as a ritual cast. So it's going to take me 10 minutes. So,
Everyone start shopping.
Right. If there's any way that we can it look like just normal activity without giving away that I'm actually doing Detect Magic.
Okay. Sounds a lot like a deception.
Fair enough.
And by the way you describe it, sounds like a deception check at disadvantage. Roll
Okay.
for me.
14 was the lower of the two.
Very nice. And that's the total 14.
Yes.
I get to roll. To the 14.
Yes.
So that be the natural one. You, as you said, you begin chopping. You start gathering some wood from the area as you check to make sure your axes are working quite right as you first have the attempt to do so. And you begin work on the trees as Willow meanders back and casts a spell. Willow, when you do so, strange. You don't exactly see like a point in which, you know, some magic may be exactly. And granted, something light up with some of your companions. You see a necklace around Gaia's neck, and you may see Lucius ring a couple of the items throughout the party. But other than that, you see off in the distance into the forest, like a soft glow and like a stream flowing off into the distance, but then it dissipates beyond the reach of your spell, as though it's leading somewhere, like originating somewhere. And you see that the stream, it begins to come out and does affect a particular area. And it's from that area you hear from children, playful.
Okay. I and let everybody know what I've discovered without being obvious that we're onto it. So that somebody can try to investigate or even escort me so that I can get close enough, because I can concentrate for 10 minutes and it's from my on my I can move and therefore shift the focus of the spell further as I concentrate on it. Okay. I don't know what we're going to find because he didn't tell me what school of magic that we've detected yet, but I'm hoping to kind of track it down to its source without giving it away to whatever it is that we're onto it. Maybe even make it out like we're falling for the, the playful laughing or whatever without being on to it,
Okay, I think, even though I typically know you guys are doing that, gonna go and.
I'm suspicious this is a trap of some sort, and so I'm using, like I said, the fact that I'm able to cast spells using the music and stuff that I'm performing and whatnot, to hide that was what I was doing, and then I kind of let people know while I was, performing the spell, what I was sensing. You didn't tell us what school of magic, so if this is something that's relevant to the source of this laughter. Okay, definitely. Okay. But yeah, so I don't want to give it away, but I want to move closer to it and maybe even pretend like we didn't realize that it is an illusion then, so that, they fall into our trap instead of the other way around.
Okay, so you begin into the forest a little bit, and you're going towards where you saw the faint glow that the stream seemed to go and feed to fill out the forest. And so you start making your way out there, and every so often you just laughter sounds like that. And you hear a sound at a different pitch, as though another child that's there with them up playing. And very randomly, you just hear from time to time. Just sounds like children at play.
Okay, but we're not finding anything. It's literally just leading further and further.
Yeah, as you begin to make your way in, the sound of laughter just seems to always be just a little further that way, a little further into the forest. If you just went a little bit further, you'd be able to hear it clear as day. You just know.
I have a feeling it's so after, because I can only concentrate for about 10 minutes. So after that 10 minutes is up, I'm gonna kind of tell them, okay, there's no point in doing it again. Let's go ahead and go on out of here because obviously it's an illusion. I was able to tell that much, and therefore we know that no children are in danger.
Well, I want you to roll me.
Okay. This. 15.
So you're giving up on the whole ordeal. You're like, guys, I think we should just start making our way back. And as you turn, look at the party to tell them, this is probably all falling. You see what looks like a large sphere, and it is brilliant and it is bright, and it seems like it is a huge focus of magical energy, and that this stream that was coming through and causing illusion, it seems to be anchored there.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to play the shiny bug or the noisy bug approach and actually kind of almost be drawn to it. I think I got to touch, I got to know, I got to something, because that is cool.
So with your waking eyes, there's nothing. But through your magic, you can see this glow spirit close to be last night as shape. It looks like.
Can I do a nature or a similar check to see if I can identify what I'm looking at?
Yes, you can.
Maybe religion.
I would like you to go ahead and make me make me a nature check. Sure, you would definitely.
5.
There's something familiar about it, but it's like something old. But you can't.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to let the party know what I'm experiencing, but once again, I'm going to try and insist that this is just wasting our time, and we don't want to let everybody else down and not be in position whenever the fires start.
Indeed. And so you begin to make your way out of the forest, right?
Unless someone else insists that we continue to investigate, I really feel like the fight coming is where our efforts should be focused.
So you guys are on this wild goose chase out in the middle of this forest, and so you guys are making your way back to the path to continue your way up north to deal with these vermin that you have come all this way to deal with. And now that you spent a good portion of the day, is starting to get a little bit late. So you're faced with that choice between push on and make your way there to the forest this evening, or and make your way there to the forest in the morning.
I'm not going to make that call. I'm going to allow you to do that.
Are we able to camp a good distance away from the illusion crap that we're using?
Certainly you can. You can travel a little bit. It's just getting a little bit late, so you can make your distance away.
It's not later than we expected it to be, is it?
No, it's just you seem when you get to the road, you realize that you seem to have it's like you set off in the morning, and it almost feels like you've been in the forest like all day. But it's like you seem like you were only there for like 20 minutes. But the sun has gone well past its zenith, and it's getting ready. You're like, awesome. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
you guys travel like up this little here. There's some really messed up forest in this area. Forest with laughter, forest with what do they think of next? And you guys go and make your way, and just before you get into this hilly area, where you know you're going to make a pass into, and upon emerging into the forest, you decide to go ahead and make camp in a clearing. Go ahead and give me a survival check. Somebody, anybody. And if you guys want to do it together, we can do it with advantage.
Gaia, we need you to do a survival check.
Gaia's survival, please. That's a 15 from Gaia.
Okay, so your rolls are getting better, by the way. Throughout the evening, you guys' rolls progressively got better. You managed to find a nice clearing, but you find one with fresh water not too far away. And it seems like there's actually a natural shelter from the canopy of the trees that looms over this little bit of area to where keep you shaded a little bit in the morning before the sun comes down upon you. But of course, with the fall, it is going to come in, so it may not be too much of a difference. But you do find a nice place. Fresh water. So you guys can refill your water skins and take a bath. You stinky bastards. Yeah.
We smell like a up druid.
So, considering that none of since we've started has done anything close to personal hygiene. Anyway, I'm just kidding. You guys are all still wearing the same clothes 3 months later. Sorry. Anyway, so
Let's just prestidigitate us all clean.
right there you go.
Yes. That is something I can do.
So, as begin to make camp for the evening, does anyone want to keep watch? You guys escaped from some laughing forest, and you guys are heading to some vermin forest.
TikTok can keep watch.
TikTok. Very good. TikTok doesn't need to sleep.
And Willow will play the Song of Rest. Everybody gets a nice restful rest, and we'll be ready to go.
All right. Very well. So, play your song to help everyone ease their minds and make their way to sleep. Forgetting about, those strange events in the forest and trying not to loom on the events to follow. You have to deal with these vermin. You begin to, all of you begin to sleep. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so you guys are all TikTok is watch, and Willow to dream. Your dream begins with a bright field in a meadow. The flowers, they are just in bloom, and their perfume electrifies your senses. You are back in the Fae, or home. You can hear some of the trees as the wind blows through the leaves, singing songs about tales of your adventures. And then that wind breeze grows cold. Leaves, they turn, fall. And the flowers that bloom lose their petals. And daylight turns to night and eerie gray. And a mist falls over all that you see. And you can smell what once was sweet perfume, that of death. What would you like to do?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is try to assess whether I am dreaming or not. So go with the whole maybe pinch myself or maybe attempt to dancing lights, just something that
You
can identify or not.
you make a gesture with your hand and nothing happens. You hear.
Okay.
And
Well,
from that moment,
Willow is a very emotional individual, and I am easily whatever. I'm flighty from one emotion to the other. I'm assuming I recognize the cackle to be the same as what we experienced during the day.
yes.
Okay, and can I do any kind of a check to identify whether then this is, like I said, a dream, or is it just some alternate reality that I found myself into? Dancing lights apparently didn't give me anything other than that they didn't work. So,
Make an arcana
okay,
with advantage.
16.
These events that transpire, they stir in your mind, trying to piece them together, and you're telling yourself the entire time, no, not here. These devils, they turned from our ways long ago. They turned to the night. They turned to the hells. They should stay there, these damn freaking hags. And you have subject to a hag. I need you to go ahead and roll me a d6. Wait, no. Make a constitution saving.
Okay, Constitution saving throw.
Yes, sir.
12.
Can you roll a d10 for me?
9.
Go ahead and take your maximum HP by 9.
Okay.
Oh,
Max reduced. Okay.
oh no.
David was just like, oh wait. And as the morning comes, remember your dream. And was this something you would like to share with the party?
One moment. I applied it as damage instead of.
Come to your realization. You know what you were dealing with. David.
Okay. Yeah. So
It's a night hag.
okay, I'm definitely going to let them know of the dangers that I feel present, and now at least we know what wasted our time yesterday and is plaguing us.
You know that this is a threat that could be just as vile, if not just as vile, if not more, than the Ettercaps themselves. In all their vermin and whatnot, just because of the abilities that this night hag possesses. She's not fun. Like I said, I know I don't want to do that. Rolled it, but I felt it was necessary. What the dice said. So that's what we got. Why did I put it in there? Because I'm an asshole. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
But it was actually around here. I was thinking it's probably a good time to either wrap up for the evening, unless you guys wanted to play for a little bit longer. Now I normally try to cut it off around 1 o'clock. 30 minutes till then, and this is probably a good time to settle down, unless you guys would like to continue on.
We did just have a long rest, which is usually a pretty good key point for taking that break, so that we don't have to try and keep track of what turn we were at if we have an encounter.
I know we didn't get into an encounter this week. Not at that one. You have to roll a whatever
Initiative.
Initiative. That's the word. It was an I word. Thank you. But you guys did do a good bit, and you guys have definitely made it a little bit further.